I wanted to survive. The first time the idea of death began to scare me. It was on my mind. I never felt that kind of feeling. Almost paralyzed.
And? Where is she now?
She faded off somewhere.
Not many shows can stand both the test of time but also continue to present an incredible number of interpretations long past its conclusion. Cowboy Bebop is such a show, and it is one that is uniquely presented with such a wonderful pairing of dramatic and humorous narrative with an equally exciting soundtrack of space jazz that altogether has made it a calling card that many have gone back to time and time again for both inspiration and reflection.
Fear of death. It just means dreaming in silence. A dream that lasts for eternity.
But how does a show do this? How can it change people's perceptions over time, while in reality, the episodes themselves cannot change? For me, it starts from the onset with design. Cowboy Bebop is an anime that is written as a neo-noir western set in the modern or nearby future of space exploration. It combines elements of science fiction with age-old folklore storytelling to present a journey that majestically fuses two worlds of old and new into this one incredible piece of work.
その中でもなぜビバップが受け入れられるのかなと思うと、やはりその一人一人の人間性とかドラマ性が手を抜くことなく描かれているところだと思います。
At its heart, the story of Cowboy Bebop is one that is as old as time itself, the journey of a hero seeking redemption in a battle of life against death. And while its fun, adventuristic persona is installed within the episode's various side stories and quests, the skeleton throughout all of it comes back to this arduous, almost lonely task. It seeks to answer the question, what does it take to battle on through this road when all hope seems lost and when you know that you cannot regain what you have once lost? This is what makes Cowboy Bebop so interesting to interpret, because there is of course no one real answer to such a question, as it is almost like the question for what is the meaning of life. Thus, how can one begin to find the words to possibly conceive even an idea that will help understand what it takes to find something that you've lost and know full well are not able to gain back again?
He's a pretty complex soul, I think. Spike is a very tortured soul. He's someone who's obviously suffered a lot of pain. Doesn't like to show it, but it comes out through his actions.
There are many answers one can offer to such an almost impossible question, and Cowboy Bebop offers its own answers to help, but that alone is what makes it so beautifully interesting to discuss, as it is also why I believe the reaction from fans has continued to bring about discussions, homages, and tributes to this great show, long after its own end. But what are those answers, and why is Cowboy Bebop a unique vehicle to discuss those themes and ideas that separates itself out of all others? I can't speak for everybody, but the way I look at the journey of Cowboy Bebop's protagonist, Spike Spiegel, is through the lens of the final episode, which reveals an ever-critical moment that I believe could shed some light on what it means to be him on this heroically tragic journey. In an exchange with another character, his friend and fellow crew member, Faye Valentine, she begs him for answers, demanding he explain himself for why he has decided to leave them knowingly as he goes to a battle against someone who he knows would very well likely spell the end of him. She doesn't leave him alone and needs to know why. Why? Why after everything, even after the loss of his one true love, why does he continue to go forth in vain to avenge a death that he knows deep down cannot be avenged, and that cannot give him the life that was once taken? Why choose to live in the past when he has a future with them as his crew?
There was no place for me to return to. This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
In response, Spike says,
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
It's so simple yet so hauntingly powerful, and it explains or offers a line of reasoning to what makes Spike the man that he is, and what is it about going on this journey that we ourselves can learn from. Because as it currently stands, death is faced by everyone, and it is the unconquerable demon that lies at the end of the road. Like Spike, we too are all heading needlessly to our own demise, and there is nothing we can do about it. But instead of ignoring that reality, instead of choosing to shy away, Spike acknowledges the bitter truth of his circumstances and chooses to face it head on. He calmly explains that he knows he isn't going there to die, but to find out if he is really alive.
Hey, Spike.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you one thing.
What's that?
Is it for the girl?
Why did you love me? She's dead. There's nothing I can do for her now. I felt like I was watching a dream I'd never wake up from. Before I knew it, the dream was all over. Julia is dead.
Then why are you still alive?
The old adage goes, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the embracement of it. And perhaps in this moment, Spike is realizing that the only honorable way to face death is to respect it by facing it head on. We all know that deep down, death is inevitable, and Spike knows this also, but to him, he isn't going to simply bow down to it. He isn't going to shy away from what it means for him. The only way he can truly live up to his own values, principles, and beliefs as a human being is to continue to be present and live in the moment. To find out what it takes to be alive by choosing to take that road not taken, because that's what it means to find out who you are and whether you live up to what you think of yourself.
Passed right before their death. As if they were searching frantically for proof that they were alive.
Perhaps it's the idea that if you were truly alive, then the thought of death shouldn't ever enter your mind because you're always focused on living. And maybe that is why Spike has decided to take such a road. Or potentially it's the one he has always been on and he is choosing to remain on it. Spike isn't just someone disconnected from existence. He is someone who knows that in order to find out if he is truly alive, he must not let the fear of death stop him from truly living as who he is and who he has always been. But I also love the idea that to find out whether he is alive, Spike chooses to battle death and face it head on, much like what any risk-taking outdoor adventure enthusiast does when they put their lives on the line to the extreme in an effort to feel the actual sense of what it means to be alive. This is a common outlook for many who become comfortable in their day-to-day routines, drifting on, being so focused on the present that they forget about what lies for them at the end of the road. While it's important to act like death isn't a part of life, or rather act like it isn't in your foreseeable future so that you can focus on the art of living, to those that forget about what lies at the end of the road will find that they will meet an unexpected destination that will both shock and surprise them. That might be why those who love extreme sports enjoy the feeling of reminding themselves for how close they are and can be to dying at any moment in time. In turn, I would gather they feel a great deal of gratitude for their present and past circumstances. They would feel an immense sense of value in being so close to death that they realize how good they actually have it right now, right there in that present moment.
Know this, swimming bird. This blue eye perceives all things conjoined, the past, the future, and the present. Everything flows, and all is connected. This eye is not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth. Open the eye of truth. There is nothing to fear.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Through fear comes life, and that could be why Spike feels the same. For him to truly feel alive, he needs to face his most dreaded fear of fears, and he needs to battle his most villainous of villains. The act of going to face death itself, full knowing that he is going to lose, makes him feel the most alive that he's probably ever been. It's such an interesting paradox, yet it also strangely makes sense. Sometimes the only way we can feel like we're living is to understand what it feels like to be dying. Which brings me to finally look at those closing credits that say you're gonna carry that weight. From all other episodes, we get "See you, Space Cowboy," but here we get this reminder that Spike is going to carry that weight. But what weight? And what is the show trying to tell us? To me, it is the weight of the world, the weight of our knowledge of the human curse and condition, and the weight of losing a loved one so close to us. It's a universal statement that could apply to so many situations, and I think that's part of why this show, and in particular, Spike's journey, has resonated throughout so many other people. The battle that Spike faces in the end is against his arch nemesis, but as much as it seems like one for revenge, it's one that is really a battle for love, a battle in vain to somehow regain that joy that he once had and which he knows he will never get again. Spike is carrying that emotional weight of losing his partner in life, and that in turn haunts him to his core.
When you and I first met, you told me something. You said that you had died once, that you had seen death. Why can't you just let it go? Forget the past.
There was a woman. First time I found someone that was truly alive. At least that's what I thought. She was the part of me I'd lost somewhere along the way. The part that was missing, that I'd been longing for. She's back.
Huh? Who?
Maybe why he goes to his end is also to meet her there at the end, to know that the only way he can truly feel alive is if he chooses to die so that somehow they can be together in the end. This is such a tough burden to carry, but like many of us, it is something that we have to learn to do as well. This isn't just about Spike carrying a weight on his shoulder, but for all of us, carrying our own weight, our own battles, and our own issues of the heart that we have to come to realize and face in our own ways. The job of being a human born with a finite condition is to learn how to carry such a horrendously heavy weight, but it is through the act of taking it on board alone that is vital to understanding how to act nobly throughout our entire lives.
This is ridiculous. What am I doing here?
Do not fear death. Death is always at our side. When we show fear, it jumps at us faster than light. But if we do not show fear, it casts its eye upon us gently, and then guides us into infinity.
By the end of the show, perhaps by the end of our own lives, we might too realize that it is all just a dream, that life and its many games and situations and emotions is nothing but a culmination of one grandiose dream dreamt by all of us inside of a locked room. This is the philosophy that the great Russ Cole once believed in, and maybe Spike's muse knew that. Maybe Spike knew that himself, and perhaps maybe we should too.
It's all a dream.
Yeah. Just a dream.
Cowboy Bebop is a special kind of show. It is a trendsetter for so many animes that have come after it, as it touches upon ideas deep down in our soul and rooted throughout ancient texts. It poses the question of how we will face our own perilous mortal journey, and what does it mean to truly feel alive, while offering us a glimpse at some answers, not through words, but through actions. This is a show that will forever hold a special place in my heart and in my soul, because unlike so many others, it is more than just a cartoon. It is a reminder of what it takes to live a noble life.
I think Bebop is as popular as it is because it has every element a good film deserves.